You have now entered a new dimension through the expansion of the internet world. I am Johnny Allen, and this is the Johnny Allen Podcast Show.
Woof, 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 woof. And the show does start now. Say hello to Barney. Hey, guys, welcome aboard. This is the Johnny Allen 30-minute podcast. I don't know if I should call it show still or just 30-minute podcast. Comment below and tell me what you think. Anyway, it is Thursday, July the 8th. Did you have a nice 4th of July weekend? I did. Ended up having 3 days off in a row. Yay! It was great. It was great. It's hot here. I'm in central Indiana in the US of A, and it's hot. It's like 90 degrees. Last weekend was hot as well. Friday was great. Last Friday was great. Weather was great. Saturday, not too bad. Starting to get a little hot. Sunday was miserable. Oh, my gosh. Whoa. The heat is on, like Don Henley, you know, back in the day. The heat is on. Or not Don Henley, Glenn Fry. I'm sorry, Glenn Fry. The heat is on. God rest his soul. Without further ado, okay, we're going to talk about coffee. I drink coffee here on the show. I'll just talk about everyday life situations. And today, of course, I'm drinking the CWE Gourmet Coffee, Building a Legacy, Tim DeBrewer. There he is. His phone number. I don't know if you can see that, guys. There we go. Anyway, I'll have the link below. Today I'm drinking the Organic Blend. Glen. Been a long, it's really weird because I was off Monday. This is only Thursday. It's been a long week already. I'll talk a little bit about that. I'll talk about share about a little bit of what I did with the 4th of July and a couple other things. As far as my everyday life situations, that's what we do here. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're surviving the heat. I hope you're surviving the political unrest still that's going on. I hope you're surviving the wackiness that's still going on. And I hope with all that weirdness and wackiness and negativity and the bizarreness that's going on and the violence, we're going to talk a little bit about that's going on. I hope you're enjoying your life. I am. I just try to take the good with the bad. I tried, like I say every week, I try to do the best I possibly can do with what I am given. Right? So anyway, how was your 4th of July? Comment below. Barney wants to know. Barney, that's Barkin' Barney? Yeah, Barkin' Bonnie. Barney. I keep saying Bonnie. You know what I might have to do is get a female dog, and they'll just change the names completely, and we'll call them Bonnie and Clyde. It's just been one of those days. And the wackiness continues with Johnny Allen. Get your coffee out if you want. It's pretty hot for coffee. The studio is kind of cool. We're about 70 in here, 69, 70 degrees. Anyway, I'm going to have another swig of coffee. And I promise you, I am completely sober. There's nothing in here. Maybe that's the problem. I'm not a heavy drinker, but I did have a few beers last Friday. The wife was out visiting her sister, and I thought, it was a heck of a day at the grind, the day gig, the job that you have to do to survive, kind of thing. You guys know all about that. I may talk a little bit about that too. Share that a little bit. We were working for a living. Yeah, working for a living. We have to. Some of us have really nice jobs, really great jobs. We love it. We have great careers. You want to call it a career? I still call it a job. It's not a career, it's a job. I get paid to do a job. Thankful to have a job. But I tell you what, it's just, sometimes I thought about this, like I said today. You got to spend at least 8 hours of your life, the average person does anyway, 8 hours a day of your life, 40 hours a week of your life on the average. I know not everybody, every situation is different, but the average dude, the average gal like me, not that I'm a gal, the average dude, the average gal. So I told you it's one of those days. You have to work a 40-hour week. And I don't know, I'm going to do a survey and a poll. That may be another podcast. I'm going to see how many people actually enjoy what they do for a living. And the thing is, why do we have to do things for a living? I thought about that today. 1,000 years ago or whatever, we were hunters and gatherers. And now we have to punch a clock, swipe a clock, clock in, whatever you do, you have to record your labor. And you get paid. The company decides how much you're going to pay for your labor, for your services. And we have to do it in order to enjoy things like this or eat, have a roof over your head, right? I get all that, but I think, wow, 1,000 years ago, we were hunters and gatherers. We survived on just what we were given on the planet, and it's some skills, hunting skills, growing food, crops. And people are thinking, where are you going with this, John? The weird thing is how things are going in the world today, it could very easily go back to that. And I talked to a coworker the other day. It's like, would that be so bad? Comment below. Would it be so bad? I think a lot of people would be totally lost and even maybe not even survive if that happened, right? So, but it's just, I've been all my life, I've been kind of an introvert a little bit. I mean, I like people and I get along with people and I try to get along with people. But the thing is, I don't like having to get up at a certain time every day and having to be somewhere at a certain time every day, except for when I'm off, right? Weekends or whatever. I just hate having to be tied to a schedule completely. You almost feel like you're a slave to the grind. You have to be tied to the employment place, whatever it may be. And you have to deal with some people most of the time that work in the same facilities you work in. You have to deal with multiple personalities. You guys get it. You got to deal with all this stuff that's going on. And I always talk about him all the time. Sean James, My Self-Reliance, not the singer. Now, the singer's good. He's great. But Sean James, the My Self-Reliance YouTuber from Canada. Check him out. He's built a cabin, blah, blah, blah. He lives out in the woods. He's swatting flies and bugs, and some people think, they can't handle that. But, man, you look at the way the guy's living. He doesn't have it, made. He doesn't have air conditioning in his cabin. He doesn't have the modern conveniences or all that. But the things he does have, that's great. The sacrifice he makes for leaving that stuff behind that we all enjoy and take for granted is that he has peace of mind. He can get up when he wants. He has his own agenda. He has his own projects. And he runs a camera, records what he does. That's part of his income. But that basically is his job. Sharing his lifestyle that is so not the normal for people today is his job, and I admire that. It's so great. It's just, and I think the reason why a lot of people are lured to it, like myself, it's like we kind of wish we could be there for a while and experience that kind of lifestyle. And you wonder if it would be healthier. The hustle and bustle going on. Now, I work in a healthcare facility, it's a great organization. I'm not going to complain about it. God love us. We've done a lot with this COVID, and now they're talking about a variant and blah, 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 and I'll get into that a little bit. But anyway, we survived a year and a half of it, okay? And it was a roller coaster ride for sure. But it really does, I think, beats down your soul and your health and all that. Are we too much involved in technology and all this gadgetry and stuff and all these crazy stuff? I follow the weapons on the military weaponry and stuff like that, the shows that are on about that. and all the sophistication that goes along with all that stuff, just so that we can protect ourselves from, enemies. And it's so much money, it's so much technology, and this stuff can't be safe. We got all this technology and all this money invested, and this is worldwide, to do what? For someone to make a bad decision. I'll talk about that too. Somebody's making bad decisions and making human error, maybe, and it could destroy the whole planet. It's crazy to think about that, right? Comment below if you have anything to say about that. It's just kind of funny. Now, to back up a little bit, last week I talked about the 4th of July and the importance of freedom and how we could lose it so easily, and how we need to kind of settle down with our hating on Old Glory and hating on all this stuff, because we're still the free country of the world, right? And it's kind of funny. And if you didn't see it, go back to my YouTube channel and check out last week's episode. But I listened to some talk shows and stuff on 5th of July, last Monday, and a lot of the shows were talking about the very same thing I was talking about, which is kind of cool. These are the big dogs, but so I'm a little dog. I'm a little dog. So is Barney. But the big dogs were talking about it. So it's an important subject, and I guess I touched on something that is important about, we got to be really, we got to cherish our freedoms and be really careful with what we do with our freedoms, so we don't demolish our freedoms. But you can check out last week, but I just thought that was kind of interesting, right? So getting back to what I'm talking about, technology, growth, they make factories and whatever to have all these things that are bad for us, Anyway, if you think about it. Like I talked about the COVID virus, when it first came out, I said, hey, I think it was man-made or man-manipulated and stuff. And people were like, and now they're beginning to find that out. I'm not saying I was right, but, you just put logic together, it's just logical stuff. If you do the research there, it's logical, right? It's logic. That's all it is to be logical. But the thing is that we're doing, mankind, especially the ones with a lot of money and a lot of power, are manipulating things. And basically, I hate to say it, but they're kind of effing with things, with nature, right? They're messing with nature to do what? To ultimately destroy us, because we think that, we know everything, we're all this, and we're really not. We're really kind of stupid when it comes to taking things. I mean, like right now, we're kind of feuding and hot with China, and China's like wanting to take over Taiwan again because they feel like they own it. The thing is that mankind doesn't own anything. The American Indians had it right from the beginning when they questioned the European settlers. And, when we were drawing boundaries for property lines and stuff like that, they said, how can you own the land? And we still got the same problem today. I mean, that's true. How can you own the land? The land is here we're on loan. The land's for us to use, for us to use responsibly, you know what I mean? And we're just not doing it as a society. We want to. And nobody's perfect. I'm not, by no means. I still drive, cars that burn gas, and, even electric cars aren't going to solve the problem. And I'm not getting into the environmental aspects or anything. I'm just getting into more of the control aspects, more of how human beings like to, especially ones with a lot of money and power, want to control everything. And it's not always the best. And things, we shouldn't be controlled by people, other people. I'll have a swig of coffee on that one. I'm kind of just freeballing it today because I'll tell you what I found out. The Johnny Allen schedule for the rest of the month. I just found out that I got family coming in the end of July. So, with that being said, I'm revamping. I haven't guessed, and I got a book I'm going to plug here. One of my guests that's going to be on the show in the future. But basically what I'm getting at is I thought that after the 4th I would do some revising, but I think now with accompanying the schedule, it's going to set back to August. But what the heck, I've been talking about this for a year anyway, so what's another month or two, right? But anyway, we're going to have some guests coming on. And while I'm talking about, I might as well plug this book. This is called Discipling, and this was written by my good friend. Let me get my fingers out of the way. Stephen R. Harbaugh. Steve, you're watching. I'm about 20 or so pages into the book. It has a lot of pages, but what I've read so far is a very good book. We'll have Steve on to talk about this in some way of the technology that I'm not so happy about. But we will have Steve on while we got the technology. And we're going to talk about this book. A very good book. And like I said, Steve's a good friend of mine. He's a heck of a musician. He plays guitar and drums. And he's in my Hopeful band when we get that thing up and started again, hopefully, pretty soon. But Steve's a great guy. And again, we will talk about discipling. He has went around and interviewed several people, and they've told their story. And I'll let Steve talk about it. And we'll have him on shortly. But and another thing, like I talked about, is the coffee, and with Tim. Tim will be on as well. And so anyway, what I'm getting at is August, I think, is going to be the day, the month. I got some ideas. I got some new music because I'm a musician. And boy, I got some. If you guys have been watching my show, the beginning of this, the bumper music, is a piece of music I wrote several years ago. It's a heavy rock one, obviously, and it's called The Slam. But I got some more that I'm going to put in and just put them and rotate them on the podcast so you guys could get a taste of what I'm doing as far as the music background goes. Anyway, I'm going to have another sip of coffee. And I'll get back on subject here right now. Really what I was talking about is like the 4th of July and everything, the independence of the country. We just got through that. How the importance of freedom is and how we need to not bash the country too bad at all. It's okay to have your opinions. It's okay to talk about things. That's why we got freedom. Talk about things that you don't agree with and open up the conversation. But be real careful not to, I guess you know what I'm trying to say here is be careful not to disown your own country, especially this one. And if you disown it, and if everybody disowns it, guess what? You lose it. And if you lose it, you know, a lot of things, it's like not appreciating, like me appreciating an ex-girlfriend, maybe a girlfriend that I really liked back in the past. Maybe I didn't quite treat her quite well, or maybe she didn't treat me quite right or whatever. But we really liked each other. But what happened? We had a breakup, right? And then after the breakup, you think, oh, man, I really screwed up. I wish I had that back. I wish I had her back. And she would say, I wish I had him back. Kind of thing. You know that kind of experience, right? Well, you wish that you could take things back, and that's what I'm talking about as far as like the country. You want to bash on her, but when she's gone, you're going to wish you had her back. So that was really the whole emphasis of last week, as well as the sacrifice that, you know, our forefathers and current military is doing right now to keep us free. You know, really, if you've been watching the news, and I don't watch a lot of the news, and I don't watch the mainstream news, I get my news from back channels, so to speak. And they got more information than the regular news anyway. The regular news, you know, you guys, you can't believe half of it, right? I mean, it's just kind of hit and miss what you get from them anyway. So, but if you've been watching some of it, and I watched some of it, it's kind of scary times that we live in right now. I've listened to some of these ex-generals and stuff come on and saying, you know, we're this close to being into another world war. And I actually believe it, what's going on right now. Unless you're living under a rock and pay attention, there's a lot of world events going on that's pretty dang scary. So we got to be prepared and aware. And, you know, I don't say worry about it or dwell on it. You know, what's going to happen is going to happen. But we need to respect each other here at home and stand up and be with each other here at home so that we could keep what we have. That's all I'm going to say about that. And lastly, the last 10 minutes of the podcast, it's hard to believe it's already been 20 minutes already. The last 10 minutes, I'd like to express this, guys. I want to talk about what's really important in life and what isn't important in life, right? In the grand scheme of things. I have this little bitty sign at work that says, will this matter a year from now? You know? And you got to think about, will this matter a year from now, whatever the situation is? Like, in other words, I'll use an example of like a store or something. Okay. Say something is put on a shelf in the wrong spot, and it's something that's not, really that important. You have to look at things like, one boss says, hey, just, do this with it. The other boss is like freaking out. And at the end of the day, is it really worth all the stress and effort and all the emotional discombobulation, I call it, for something minute? Not really. A lot of times it's good to let things go. I think today we're too caught up on stuff. And I'll use another example that's a little more severe. You see so many times on the news, which I don't watch the news a lot, but I do capture a couple of things, and you always get, the bad stuff. So the headlines is, a girl goes to McDonald's, and they get, or a fast food restaurant, I think it was McDonald's. The worker at McDonald's gives her the wrong order. Okay, she messed up. Happens all the time. People make mistakes. So she gets mad, she's confronting, and they have a big fight, and sometimes they're shooting people and stuff like that. Is that really worth it? We need to just kind of cool down. When someone screws your order up, you just, go back through play, say, hey, it kind of messes up. Is there any way you could kind of correct it? I know you guys are busy and everything. I really appreciate it. And, they do it. They take care of it usually, and that's it. End of it. You don't have to make a big escapades about it. Things minute. I have instances at work that people say, oh, this was on the wrong. Oh, this is bad. This, you put this on the wrong. You mismarked this. You did this. You did that. Blah, 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 blah. And, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I know you have to be kind of conscientious about what you're doing. People can't screw up. I understand that. But we are human beings. And depending on the amount of work that you're doing and what you're put under and the stresses you're on, everybody's on these different stress levels, especially what's going on out there in the world today. Give them a break. At the end of the day, you just don't worry about that kind of stuff. Unless it's life-threatening, I really wouldn't worry about it too much. We'll drink coffee to that. Really look at what's important in life. Really look, don't get shook up. Like my dad always says, don't let your emotions override your reasonings. We had a lot of shootings over the 4th of July here in Indianapolis. I don't live in Indianapolis, but I live pretty damn close. Someone would say, stones throw away. Shootings downtown Indianapolis. We had a riot down there, a year or so ago. Like every place else. I mean, a little quiet in Indianapolis. It was coming around real good before the pandemic. A lot of people like to go downtown, including myself. I played gigs downtown with my music stuff. And, I haven't played downtown in 2 years, and I care not to go down there again. Because people are just randomly shooting, doing this, doing that. Most of them are coming from out of town, probably. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, but it's just careless. We have it in Philadelphia. Chicago's real bad. Now Indianapolis is starting to get on that map of violence, which is horrible anywhere, but it's horrible in your hometown, your home city that you never, imagine that kind of stuff is going to happen. And why? Why is it happening? I'm just asking the question. Comment below. Why is it that people are blowing their tops? And they're just like randomly doing this stuff. Is it because we got people coming from other countries that don't supposed to belong here? I don't know. Maybe, possibility. Is it because society is just in a hole just whacked out today? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I wish I had it. I don't really know. I could speculate on some of my answers. I think, maybe wrong or right. I don't have time to get into that. I don't really know. But comment below. But it's a shame. The bottom line is it's a shame of the violence going on here in the hometown when you're trying to celebrate Independence Day, just taking a break from life, just trying to get away from that stuff, and that stuff follows you there, becomes real life. It just doesn't make sense to me, people. If you're unhappy about something, don't take it out on innocent people. I've said this so many times before. If you feel the urge for some violence, can you take some time out and deal with it some other way? We need to grow up. Drink to that. We need to grow up, folks. We need to grow up. We need to grow up in the world. We need to grow up here in the United States of America. We need to be fair with everyone. We need to grow up. We need to have punishment when punishment is due for some of these violent things. There's no need for that in the first place. And you know, the violence goes all the way up the scale to the 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 14-year-old that gets a gun and wants to be a gangbanger, to the world leaders, like the leaders of the communist parties and leaders of the world that had the big money and big military. It never changes. And they want to take, control and people out. The bottom line of my podcast today, it's about control. It's about controlling people. Maybe someone wants a quiet walk on the canal in downtown Indianapolis and they don't want people shooting at them. They have a right for that. You don't have a right to go take somebody's life out. You don't, really. You think about it, you really don't. Unless you're protecting your home. But they shouldn't be coming in anyway. The whole thing is what I'm saying in a nutshell, is like, if we would tone down all the violence and the mean and the hate and all this stuff, the world would be a much better place. Much better place. If people would be addicted to things that are bad to them, it would be a better place. And I don't know if I'm ever going to see it in my lifetime. I always, hope and pray that this world will get better. I just don't know. I think it's just DNA and ingrained in mankind, somewhere. I have no idea. If you have any comments, please feel free to do so. That's all I really got today. A little update on my Crossroads Saints. I just talked to Daryl today. He got into that accident back on Father's Day weekend, right? A balcony collapsed, and he just texted me today. He's got to have MRIs now. He's got a problem with the foot, maybe. The girls are working on the media stuff real well. We got a guy that's going to do a video lyric to Cradle to the Grave. That'll be up when I'll tell you when that goes up. And new website coming down the pike. Yeah, the old website. Before the old website even got going, the new one's coming. And it's better. And he's working with a producer on the record that's going to be pushing the record. So I'll keep you up to date on all that stuff. One last thing, I'll close with what I did over the 4th of July. Like I said, I did go to a local festival here in town, which hadn't happened in over a year because of the pandemic. One of my favorite bands and guys I love very much is a band called the Wright Brothers, and it's not the guys that invented the airplane. You can look them up. They've been around for a long time. They were in the movie Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, rather. Back in the 80s. They just did a remake of it. The Wright Brothers Band. Tim and Tom and John McDowell, the three main cornerstones of the band, although they have other musicians that hang with them that are really good too, Keith and Frank. Anyway, the Wright Brothers, they played their final show, I think. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on past last Sunday, which was very melancholy and very sad in a way, but I understand it. They were, doing it for 50 years. I know John, the bass player, he announced on stage, so it's not secret, that would be his last performance with that band, with that group. And I just want to thank the Wright Brothers and Johnny McDowell. If you guys are watching, I knew them when I was a kid because they're a little bit older than me, and I liked them. I appreciated them. But as I got older, I appreciated them even more. I've worked with Tim on a couple projects, and they're gonna be missed. Great harmonies, great times, just a really good old-fashioned American, I wouldn't even call them rock and roll band, just a good band because they played everything. Country, blues, rock, everything. Classics from the Beatles to Elton John to the Beach Boys. Johnny Cash, James Taylor, everything. So farewell to the Wright Brothers Band. We're going to miss you so much. I still got my T-shirt and CDs, and I'll cherish them to the day I die. And just thanks for all the years of all the music. Talented bunch of guys, man. Like I said, sing harmonies. Tim Wright plays like 3 instruments, 4 instruments. I don't know. Very good. Tom, one of the best storytellers ever. Just a fantastic group, and it was mixed feelings to see them Sunday. and pretty much knowing that that's now. I don't know what Tim and Tom are going to do. They're getting older. I know Tim will continue to play. I don't know where the future lies with the Wright brothers right now. I have no idea. But I know that the Wright brothers that I learned to grow up with and love are no longer the core because Johnny being leaving the group. So, but yeah, my farewell to you guys. Salute you guys. The Wright brothers, one of the most patriotic and decent bunch of guys. Homegrown, decent, American, like Chevrolet and apple pie, man, that's the Wright brothers, right? That's all I can say. So, yeah, we're going to miss you guys. So, thanks again for stopping in. It seemed like it was a kind of a quick 30 minutes today, but I just kind of blabbed. But, yeah, the guests are coming in and stay on. We're going to talk about Steve's book. We're going to talk about coffee and many other things. I promise you in the future. Another drink to that. Look for the music at the Crossroads Saints, the CD to be hitting the masses here. I would say in a week or two, but I'll let you know. And once I get the links, I'll put them here. You guys go right there. As soon as I get the links, I'm going to hook you up. Appreciate the support on everything. Music, the support of the countries, the support of my little podcast here. Just support. And remember, at the end of the day, life's way too short. Let's don't sweat the little things, guys. Let's don't try to pretend. You don't have to make yourselves look big to put other people down. You don't have to be the big man, whether it be showing someone at McDonald's that you're the man and you're going to get in their face for screwing up your order, or, you're the gangbanger and you're going to go out and shoot people because, you feel that power because you got a gun, come on. Whatever it may be, the big leaders of the world, the power playing. We need to put that all aside. Man, it would be great if we could just put that all stuffed away and just live in harmony. I know I may be a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. You guys know that song, and that's so true. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week, the Lord willing, on the Johnny Allen 30-minute podcast. Have a great weekend. Later.